Howdy, y'all. Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my garden. I am back with another weekly update. I'm filming it a little bit earlier in the day to try to beat the heat because we are expecting mega hot temperatures for the next at least 10 days. So let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on in the garden. First of all, I do apologize for all of the noise. The pasture on the other side of my back fence here is in the process of being mowed. I think they are trying to beat the heat too. So I'm going to try to speak over that mower and hopefully we can get through this and you'll be able to hear everything. But as usual, I'm starting over here in the tomato patch that is slowly being flipped and transitioned for the fall vegetable crops. What has been changed since last week is I transplanted in some broccoli seedlings yesterday afternoon actually, and they are all down this middle bed within my tomato patch along the back part here. There are 12 broccoli plants total that have been transplanted in, and I'm just trying to keep them watered and, you know, semi-cool with this shade cloth here. With the temperatures as hot as they are, this is the best that I can do. So another thing that is relatively new, these Brussels sprouts were transplanted in last week. I did speak about them in last week's weekly update, but I also planted 2 different trenches of carrots, so to speak. So I created carrot tape and planted them here and then here as well. I did film that process. That video will be coming out soon. As far as any other updates to these beds, not a whole lot else has changed. These cowpeas, these are the phenomenal variety. They were pretty empty last week when I came through, but you can see they bloomed and created more, and I actually probably need to come through and harvest a couple of these. But the pea plants that are all the way down this bed all have peas on them, so that's pretty cool. The squash plant that is in here amongst the basil is doing all right. I saw it yesterday. Let's see, that's peas. Where did it go? Okay, no, it was doing okay. It looks like something ate all of the leaves off of it, so I'll just pull that out. Okay, live update in action. There you go. Squash, not my friend this year. This bed is just kind of hanging out. It's had, sorry, I'm gonna wait for that mower to go by. Let me walk through this way so my shadow won't be in the way. Okay, so this bed is just kind of hanging out. It is still generating peas. This variety is the purple whole pink eye, and it also has, oh, hold on. There's a bee over here that I don't want to anger. Okay, walk gingerly. Okay, so this bed has had a ton of mushroom activity going on with it. Eventually, kale and spinach and Chinese cabbage will be transplanted into here. Whenever it is time to start transplanting, I will remove this lime basil, dehydrate it to use for basil tea, probably remove these marigolds as well because they're kind of sprawling and weird looking. But I'm just letting them grow for now, trying to keep plants growing consistently in the soil at all times so that all those beneficial microorganisms will continue to thrive and do their thing. But overall, that's kind of the most recent changes to the tomato patch, just slowly transitioning for fall. You can see the eggplants along the back are giant. There are a couple of little baby eggplants growing, nothing too spectacular. Something keeps eating them, so I haven't been able to harvest them before something gobbles them up. So I think I need to put some more lights out here at night to kind of deter things. We'll see. All right, these two raised beds are absolutely the star of the garden show right now. The amount of life that is in them at this point in mid-August, whenever the temperatures are absolutely insane, is just astounding to me. So if you haven't watched any other weekly updates, what is growing in these two raised beds is okra along the back, which, as you can see, has become giant okra trees. And then along the front, we have sweet peppers. And then there are some squashes, and basils, and marigolds, and different sorts of things within the middles of both of the beds. So the okra, as you can see, is doing absolutely phenomenally. It's blooming. There's several pods growing. I actually have not harvested okra yet today, so I probably need to come out with the pruning shears and take care of that. The banana peppers are still just absolutely prolific. I've made several jars of pickled banana peppers this year. Really excited about that. These bell peppers though, oh my goodness. I'm just gonna take a second because my goodness. Okay, so this is the first year that I have had this much success with bell peppers. And I know that with the way the camera angle is so far zoomed out, it's hard to tell exactly how successful these plants are. But keep in mind, we're in triple digit temperatures in North Texas, no rain in sight for at least the next 10 days, probably more. And there's just bell pepper after bell pepper after bell pepper on these plants. This one is so loaded and weighed down that it has fallen over. So right there, it's just, and then this is the same plant back here. I just cannot get over this. This is insane to me. I need to get a T-post or something really sturdy to kind of anchor that too, so that the plant doesn't end up breaking from all of the weight of those bell peppers. I'm just amazed. I am like absolutely giddy over that. That is just, I can't adequately give words to explain how absolutely enamored I am with all of the bell peppers that are growing on just this single plant. This is the, oh, sorry y'all. This is the heavy hitter okra, and this one had a bit of a growing setback compared to the other one, so it's a bit shorter. We had really high winds during a storm back in May, and it completely broke the plant off, and it was like flopped over, and it just kind of grew back from that point. This was the original stem right here, and it grew back from here, and now it's doing really well. You can see that it's got several pods growing, it's blooming, there's more blooms to come, so really happy with that one as well. This quad in between the two raised beds, it's kind of at a resting point right now. I have fertilized it and amended it. It will have kohlrabies planted in it in 6 or 8 weeks. So right now it's just kind of hanging out, resting. I am watering it regularly to keep the, the good soil microorganisms thriving, but I didn't have anything to plant in there right away, so it's just hanging out, waiting on me. All right, so this bed, more okra along the back and sweet peppers, like I was saying. In previous videos, I have talked about these two plants, and the seeds that I planted were supposed to be for mulatto isleno, which are a poblano type pepper. Now, if you look at these, they look nothing like a poblano. They look like a shishito, and it turns out that there actually was a seed mix-up with these seeds. So these are shishito peppers. I'm not really upset about that. You can blister them and serve them as like an appetizer with some garlic aioli or some sort of like wasabi dipping sauce or something. So I'm not super upset that these are shishito, even though I didn't purposely grow shishito this year. I actually need to come out and harvest a ton of these ripe ones, but I just haven't done it yet. The green ones are the ones that you use for blistering. They're super mild. Every now and again you will get one that is spicy, but for the most part they're super mild. They're really good blistered, served as an appetizer like I was saying. But I have been dehydrating and grinding these up to use as like a chili powder, and it's worked all right. So I think I'm going to continue on with that with all of these that are ripe, just to kind of stock my spice cabinet a little bit more. More okra, as you can see. Definitely okra trees there. For reference, my fence is 6 foot tall. Let me get next to the fence. So probably pushing 10 foot tall at this point. The world record for the tallest okra plant was 16 foot. So I don't think I'm gonna beat any world records here with my okra, but it is really interesting trying to harvest them from way up there. We have purple beauty bell peppers here. There's 2 plants, so starting to get quite a few purple beauty bell peppers. I use them the same way that I use the California Wonder bell peppers down there. It looks like I will be making some paprika very soon because there's so many bell peppers growing. This is Ajvarsky, and you can see it has quite a few on it as well. Grasshopper got a hold of that one, but there's still quite a few on the plant at any rate. And then we have violet sparkle here. I need to come harvest these red ones. And then there's quite a few on this plant as well. So the sweet peppers are really just showing off and showing out, and I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, in front of the greenhouse, aside from the container of weeds, we have Benary's Giant zinnias. These are a red variety. I think they might be scarlet, but that's both containers here. So it gives quite a beautiful color show in front of the greenhouse door whenever I have to brave going in there. So really cool. And then over here we have the sunflower patch. This is the second planting of the sunflower patch, and it's doing better than the first planting did. The first planting I didn't have nearly as many sunflowers that made it this far. I also faced a really bad roly-poly issue early in the season, so I think that might be why, because the roly-polies were just decimating the seedlings before they could come to fruition. But you can see we're starting to get lots of flower heads here, good healthy leaf growth. These are just looking so much better than the first run of sunflowers that I planted. So along the back is a sunflower mix. I couldn't even begin to tell you what those are. These for here are a red sunflower mix, and then this one lone guy right here is going to be a chocolate cherry sunflower. So should be a really cool blend of sunflowers for the fall season once they start blooming and such. So I really can't wait to see that. Over here in the flower bed, things are really starting to bloom. We're starting to see a lot more color. We're starting to see things really just filling in, so there's not so much, flower bed itself showing. We have gomphrena. Let me get out of the way. So we have gomphrena here that's blooming. We have the profusion zinnias blooming. Benary's Giant zinnias about to open. Sunflowers here. This one's fizzling out, but it's going to have like a secondary one, so I'm just letting it hang out. I recently transplanted petunias in, and so those are kind of scattered throughout here. This one I believe was a burgundy variety. And then Benary's Giant zinnia, more of the same all the way down, just different colors. Let's see here. Right here is the the pumpkin on a stick. It is actually an eggplant variety, which is why I got my words jumbled. Whenever the little eggplants, you can see right there, whenever it ripens, it turns orange. So it looks like a pumpkin on a stick. You have to be very careful with these though, because they have a ton of sharp thorns. So I try not to do too much within the plant itself because it's painful and it hurts. I don't think there's any of the pumpkin on a stick growing on this one, but I'm not gonna go in there exploring to find out for sure. I just kind of look from afar. These are to be admired from a distance, I think. We have basically the same thing repeated all the way to the end of the bed. Gomphrena, sunflowers, zinnias in different colors and heights. But I wanted to show you this sunflower because it's so pretty. This one is different from the other dwarf ones that bloomed. I can't remember which variety this is, but I just thought it was so beautiful. And then it has secondary flowers as well. And then we have, I believe this is going to be a wine, Benary's giant wine, that's going to be blooming. So I'm excited to see that. But overall, yes, in the last week that has really filled in a lot. Definitely a lot more flowers blooming and stuff. Really beautiful. Really happy with this for right now, especially since it's mid-August and super hot. This green stalk here, again, this is the cow peas and the field pea or cream peas. If you have not watched any other weekly updates, these do really well whenever it is super hot. So last week, there weren't really a whole lot of peas growing, but you can see there's a ton of blooms. I don't see a whole ton of baby peas on this side, but on the, here we go. This is a cream pea variety. But on the other side, I saw some this morning whenever I was watering. Here we go. There's one. But as it blooms, it'll fill back in and there will be a ton of peas on here, and then I'll just harvest every day until they don't produce anymore. So here you can see peas here. And this is just one plant, so obviously it puts forth quite a bit on its own. So that has been an excellent crop to grow this year. Over here, this green stalk here is the hot peppers. Earlier in the season, struggled a little bit trying to get them to be productive. I spent a few weeks heavily fertilizing and amending and paying attention to all of the little nuances. And now there's several hundred peppers growing in this green stalk, and it's insane. So this is one plant. This is a Mexi Bell, and it probably has 15 peppers on it. This is a jalapeno of some kind. And it's just like that all the way around. The Baquino, you can see a lot of little peppers, tons of blooms on it. This mushroom pepper has a ton. I actually need to harvest some and get those dehydrating. Jalapenos all over. Serranos, and then we have cayennes. I mean, this thing is just loaded. We have some Tabascos here. It's just, there's so many peppers growing now, and it's insane. And I'm so happy. I would like to be able to pickle some jalapenos, so I'm hoping that I'm going to have enough to do that, and it looks like I will, because all of a sudden there's just jalapenos everywhere, and it's awesome. This is a rattlesnake pepper right here. It's just completely loaded with peppers. There's Sugar Rush Peach down at the bottom there. Those have quite a few growing. This is just bananas. or peppers. It's just peppers. All right, strawberries are planted in this pink green stalk here. We had enough bare root plants to plant out each individual pocket, but as you can see, only 3 of them, you know, came back and started growing for us, but they're putting off their runners. So I'm just spreading them kind of around, and I will figure out what to do with these 2 middle tiers next season whenever it's time to plant strawberries again. So it will eventually take root in there and then continue to spread all the way around. So really cool. I'm really happy with that. The bottom one is an ever-bearing variety, and these 2 are June-bearing varieties, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. I'd have to look back in emails or something to see what they were exactly. We have the lime tree here. So there's 3 limes currently growing. This one is almost ready. These 2 still have a little bit to go, and it recently bloomed out really pretty heavily, and I don't think any of these were pollinated. I'm not 100% sure. I'm also trying to be careful because the lime tree chooses violence too. It has a lot of thorns on it. So I've been kind of trying to look to see if any other limes set fruit. If not, it's okay. I really need to get this transplanted into that container. So you know, I'm not bothered if there's no more limes besides these 3. Once this is transplanted into there, my plan is to plant a lemon tree into this wooden planter and kind of continue the cycle, continue the process. This green stalk is kind of, well, it's not kind of, it definitely is a hodgepodge green stalk. It has several different types of crops growing in it. You can see the mint trying to take over. I need to just cut it down, get that drying for tea. There's cinnamon basil, Persian basil. I have several patio okra plants growing in here. Let me get around here so you can see this okra, and it's blooming. Kind of okra all the way down here, and then this thyme. That basil is blue spice and it smells really good. I can smell it all the way over here. Then on this side we have like super hot peppers. There's a Carolina Reaper here. Looks like it's about to bloom. This is a habanero. This is another habanero that is blooming. And then we have a lemon habanero over here, and then an Aleppo pepper right here. So hopefully we get some more super hots growing there. Trying not to trip and fall on my face. But that is the mid-August garden, and I have to say it's looking pretty good compared to what it could look like in mid-August. I'm definitely not mad about it. Alright, but that's it for this weekly update. There is plenty more fall and winter garden to be planted out into these spaces. So little by little, every week you'll see a few more gradual changes. But if you liked this video and you want to see more content about how the garden progresses from week to week, please like and subscribe and do all those different YouTubey things. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!